Hello crafters. Are you all joining us live, ready for today's stamp along? Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have you got snow where you are today? Can't lie, we were hoping for a bit of snowy weather here up in Durham, but so far we had a little cover in this morning, but nothing too much to report, to be honest. So, thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm worried that the picture maybe looks a little bit dark on your screen at home, but hopefully the overhead camera should be alright. We had a few problems with it flickering, hence why we're a little bit later in starting. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me today. Today is going to be all about the fabulous Stamp Along project using the beautiful Butterflies range. So this is the gorgeous card that we are going to be making. So this is going to be using the Grande Floral Butterfly along with the Country Flowers and the diamond lace, floral lace diamond little topper and the filigree Happy Birthday as well. Okay then, so we've got some graphics prepped so that I can put in the materials that you need for today's project. And you can also hop over to the website as well. So if you go onto the website, scroll down, click on blog, you'll find a full step-by-step instruction sheet that you can download and print off. We've also been talked about in the Chloe's Creative Cards group about maybe doing like a printed book that you could then buy with some of the projects in. So if that's something that you'd maybe like, drop it in the comments below, let me know. Because I know sometimes printer inks and things can be quite expensive, aren't they? So if we could maybe collate 20 and then pop them in a book. If ever you're feeling a little bit uninspired or your mojo's gone, you can always kind of have a little flick through there and get some ideas. Right then, so today we are going to be using the Stamp and Die sets, Grande Floral Butterfly, Country Flower and Filigree Happy Birthday. We're also going to be using the DL Clear Stamp Flower Border. We're going to be using the Metal Die set Floral Lace Diamond. The papers that we're using are from the beautiful Butterflies foiled paper pad, which you have all been loving, by the way. So there's not many of those left. We've also got the Crystallina glitter on there, our gorgeous little sparkling butterflies. If you haven't got those in your craft box, you need some of those sparkling butterflies. They are gorgeous. And the Lime Zing Sparklicious glitter as well. We're also going to be using opaque bright white superfine embossing powder and the embossing glitter Pretty in Pink. You are of course going to need your Wow Clear embossing ink pad and an anti-static bag as well. We're going to be using some white vellum. I know that's out of stock on the website at the moment, but if you want to, pop your email address and sign up to the notification for when that's coming back in. We're also going to be using our luxury pearl card in rose quartz and crystal white. We're going to use our luxury pearl paper in rose quartz, mirror card and matte mirror card in, guess what, rose quartz. We're going to use the self-adhesive sparkles in Pretty Pinks. The bling box refill, so if you've got the bling box, you can use them out the bling box. If not, you can just buy the little pack of the 5mm sugared pink gems. You're going to need a pink alcohol marker, pink and green pencils, a chisel tip glue pen, your Dries Clear PVA glue and your metal fine tip applicator, pin flare glue gel and foam pads on a roll along with an 8x8 card blank. So hopefully you have gathered all of your bits and pieces together. I'll just leave that up on the screen for a couple of minutes just so you can kind of see what you're going to need. Okay, and you'll also need any of your general crafting tools. So like your heat gun, you're not going to need a palette knife for this project, for example, because we're not using stencils, but you're going to need like your general adhesives, your foam pads, all such like. Oh, I'm pleased you're all liking the idea of a little stamp along book as well. It will probably be the projects that we've already done, because then we could pop the links into the videos. So yeah, I just thought it might be a nice little way to kind of print them out and then you've got them in front of you. Plus then it saves on your printer ink because it is expensive now for printing and things. Right then, so let me pop the overhead camera in and then you will be able to see what I'm doing. Okay then, so we're going to start off. We've got all of our mats and layers pre-cut down. So these are all up on the blog and on your PDF instruction sheet, okay, as to what the sizes are. So please have a look on there and refer back to it. I know that the first layer is 7 3/4 inches square because that's the way that I always start, okay. So I'm going to take a piece of my rose quartz mirror card and I'm going to stick this down onto my base card. Now hopefully if you are crafting along with me, you'll have all your mats and layers pre-cut down because you'll have been following that fabulous instruction sheet. So I'm going to stick this down onto my card like so. Okay, so that's that piece on here. Next up, I'm going to take a piece of crystal white pearl card, and with this one I'm going to take a chisel tip glue pen. Again, I know that these are out of stock at the moment, but please do not worry, they are on their way back. And what we're going to do is just drag this along the edge like so. So you're holding your pen at about a 45-degree angle and dragging it towards you. What that's going to do is it's going to give you a really nice straight line ready for glittering. So the glitter that I'm going to use is the gorgeous Crystallina. So this is very much like a neutral sparkly colour. So Crystallina is absolutely fabulous for kind of just adding that little bit of sparkle to your projects. So we're just going to drag down the sides like so, and then we're going to cover it with some Crystallina. Okay, so you're just going to sprinkle this over the top. Like so. So Lorraine's asking, do you cut your layers with your nesting square dies? Yes, a lot of them I do. For these ones, some of the layers are a little bit smaller than the nesting die set. So what I've done is I've just cut them on my guillotine. Okay then, so we're going to layer this up. So this is going to get stuck onto our base card, like so. So a little bit of glue on the back. Again, the glue that I'm using is that fabulous Kalal all-purpose glue. You really do only need a small amount of this, and I love it for my matting and layering because what it means is you've got a little bit of manoeuvrability. You can kind of just shuffle this around just a little bit. Okay, so that's then stuck onto our base card. Next up, we're going to take a piece of our rose quartz matte mirror card. So you can see this has got a lovely satiny effect. This looks beautiful embossed with your embossing folders as well. So I'm going to take some foam pads and just stick this down. I might just need to ask, I've got Becca with us today. She's just opposite me. I just need some foam pads. Thank you. There we go. So I'm going to start off by just popping my foam pads on the back here. Now, as you all know, we sell the most amazing foam pads on a roll on the website, and seriously, they are fabulous. So these are what I'm using all the time for my mats and layers. So then we're going to whip the backs off of these, like so. Okay, and then we're going to pop that down onto our base card. Like so. Okay, so then you've just got a very fine glittery border. I know it doesn't look like much, but trust me, the card's going to start and come together. So next up, we're going to take our patterned paper, and this is from that beautiful Butterflies paper pad. It's an absolutely gorgeous design. So it's got all those lovely little flowers on and leaves. So we're just going to drag that along the edge and again glitter this layer up. I absolutely love doing this little technique. It's so easy to do, but it makes such a difference to your projects and really adds that gorgeous little sparkle. So we're just going to drag this all the way along like so, dunking into the glitter like this. Pop that over to one side, and then this one's going to get stuck flat onto our matte mirror. So I'm going to just take a little bit of glue just on the back like so. Okay, and then we're going to pop that there. Okay, so that's nicely stuck down. So I'm going to pop that to one side for now, and we're going to work on that beautiful background. Okay, so we've got a piece of rose quartz pearl card. Sorry, I'm just trying to read your comments as I'm going. So Susie's asking, what glue pen are you using? It's our chisel tip glue pen. They are out of stock on the website at the moment, but they are on order, so they're due in very, very soon. So totally recommend this glue. It's a really good sticky glue. It's got a fabulous quality tip on there as well, and you do get plenty of glue within the tube, and it does actually last quite a long time as well if you're doing your edges and things like that. So 100% would recommend our chisel tip glue pens. Next question, would you recommend one of those ruler devices that help you get your matting and layering, or is it just practice makes perfect? So what I would say to that question is, personally, I don't use one of those ruler devices for my matting and layering. So what I tend to do is I measure all of my mats and layers. So for example, you'll see on the PDF instruction there's measurements for all of the mats and layers on this project. So if I'm starting with an 8x8 card, and maybe then click on to maybe then start with a 7 3/4 inch mat first, then go down to 7.5 and then 7 1/4. So you can really kind of, that gives you a basis, and I measure it on my guillotine, so I use my measurements on my guillotine, or if you're doing 1/4 inch increments, use our basic square dies because they work fabulously for die cutting out your mats and layers. So you can trim them down like that, and then I always use a wet glue when I'm sticking my mats and layers together if they're flat. So I always like the Kalal all-purpose glue. Then it just gives you that little bit of time and a little bit of movement to get things into place. If you're not confident placing your foam pad layers down, you can always pop your foam pads on the back and then pop a little bit of glue onto the back of the foam pads, if that makes sense. You're not necessarily doing it to make it stick, you're doing it so that it gives you that little bit of time just to have that little bit of movement if you don't quite get it straight. Okay. So I've got a piece of rose quartz pearl card here. So as always, I'm going to start by giving it a little dust over with an anti-static bag. Then I'm going to grab in my flower border stamp. Absolutely love this stamp. I wanted it to be DL, so it makes it really easy for if you're doing your 8x8 cards. Or you can literally just do this on a DL card blank and it's going to look amazing. So you're going to start off by inking up your stamp. So lots of light tapping all over the image. Okay, and I'm using the Wow Clear embossing ink pad here. Make sure you've got plenty of ink on there. And then you're going to take your border stamp. Again, I'm working on our stamping mat as well, which is fabulous. It gives you that extra little bit of cushioning. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to just hover a little bit off the bottom and press. So you want firm, even pressure all over your stamp. As you can see as well, we've been using black ink on this stamp, so it is a little bit marked. It is completely normal for photopolymer stamps to mark and stain over time. It's basically just the ink absorbing into the polymer. So I'm going to lift that off. Okay. And then we're going to take our Wow Opaque Bright White Superfine Embossing Powder. So we're going to screw the lid off this. Sprinkle it over like so. Tap away the excess. If you've got any little fingerprints or anything, you can just use a little paintbrush to brush those away before we kind of heat this up. Okay. And then we're going to use our heat gun. So again, I'm using the Wow heat gun. It does have 2 speeds to it. Personally, I just always put it on the higher one. So what you're going to do is hold your heat gun still, and then as soon as you see that powder start to melt and change, you're just going to move the heat gun over the image. Like so, and I love how this looks on the pink card. It looks so clean and fresh. There we go. So you can see how that's then created this beautiful little border. Oh, I've missed a tiny bit of embossing there. There we go. Just along the bottom of the card. Okay, if you wanted to just pop a sentiment on there, you could leave this card as it is if you wanted to. I think this would look fabulous on a vellum wrap on your projects as well. That would look really, really cool. But it just looks so, so pretty. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some pens and we're going to start to add a little bit of colour just into the middle of the flowers. So we're going to take, I'm using Copic markers. So the first one that I've got is peach. And literally I'm just going to flick a little bit of colour into the middle. The flowers here, like so. Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. It might be a little bit difficult to see. And I'm just going to go in and colour in some of the other gorgeous little flowers that are on here. Super pretty. And then we'll take another pink. So this is a slightly different one. So this one is a light pink. I'm just going to colour some of the other elements in. We are going to glitter it up, but this does make a little bit of a difference when you glitter it. It just makes some elements look a little bit darker, which is really, really nice. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our Lime Zing glitter. Just see if I've got mine. Is that Lime Zing? It is indeed. And we're going to just start to glitter in some of the foliage that's on this beautiful stamp. So we're going to use our Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. And I've got my little metal tip on the end, which is available to buy separately, but it's an absolute game changer for doing anything like this. It's fabulous. So what you can then do is just go in, start to infill in the leaves and the foliage, like so. So the embossing kind of gives you that little ridged line just to follow up to as well. Of course, if you're joining this video a little bit late or anything like that as well, it'll be up on Facebook and on YouTube later today. So please do check back. You can always watch again, or if you're crafting along, then you can kind of pause me or fast forward me or rewind if you need to. Okay, so we're just glittering in all of this gorgeous foliage that we've got on this stamp, and it really is beautiful. There we go. Right then, so I'm going to grab my scrap paper. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Lime Zing glitter, sprinkle that over, and then you can see how that's just added that little bit of zing to the flowers there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this back into the jar, like so. And then we'll take this back in. Okay, and what we're going to do is just go back in, and this is going to look a little bit weird, but when it dries, trust me, it's going to look nice. And we're just going to scribble over the flowers with your dries clear glue, and it is really vital that it dries clear when you're doing this. Okay, so you're going to just go back in, add lots of glue all over. Like so. Colour these in. I love this, it's like painting by numbers with glitter. What a fabulous idea. So then we're just going to bling this all up. Like so. You just flood in the area with your glue. Okay, and then we're going to take in our Crystallina glitter, sprinkle that over the top. Like so. And then you can see how beautiful that then looks. Now when it dries, you'll get the pink shining through from underneath, which is what we want. So while we work on the other elements of this project, I'm going to pop this over here to dry. So let me just check back on the questions. So Leslie's asking, are your stamping mats heat resistant? Technically, no, they're not. I use my heat gun on mine. Obviously, if it melts, it's not necessarily meant to be heat resistant. But I tend to use mine on mine and mine's okay. So that's all I can say on that one, I'm afraid. They're technically not, but I do use mine on it. Right then, so what we're going to do next is we're going to work on this beautiful butterfly. So I have got one that I've already done that's dried, okay? But I'm going to show you how I did this. So, to start with, I'm using card for this one. So I've got a piece of our rose quartz pearl card, which is gorgeous. Again, we're very pink today, very on brand, aren't we? And I've got my fabulous floral butterfly stamp here, which I've got on an acrylic block. These are our acrylic blocks as well that we have on the website. So please do hop over and have a look. They are fabulous. They're going to they fit all of our stamps. So I'm using the large square one with this particular one. Right, so we're going to dust over with an anti-static bag. Again, Wow Clear embossing ink pad. I'm going to ink up the stamp. So lots of tapping all over the image. Like so. And then we're going to take this and we're going to place it down onto our base card and press. So again, you want firm, even pressure all over the image. Like so. And you're going to lift this off and you're going to cover it with your Wow embossing powder. So we're using opaque bright white superfine again. Sprinkle that over, we're going to give it a little shimmy round, like so. Try and make sure we've caught everything there, and tap away the excess. Okay, and then we're going to heat this up. So we're going to use our heat gun again. We're going to hold the heat gun still, and then as soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, we're just going to move that over the image. There we go. So you can see how beautiful that is then looking. So I'd just like to give it a couple of seconds just to cool down before I take my die and pop that over the top. So you're going to take your fabulous die and pop that over the top so these completely coordinate. Okay, and then we're going to take our low tack tape. I'm going to just cut a couple of pieces of tape down. Just turn my Gemini on there. There we go. Right, so I'm going to just line this up. I have just stood up here as well. I'm sorry if you see the top of my head leaning at this point. Looks about right. There we go. There we go. Okay, then we're going to run this through our Gemini. So I'm using my base plate, my plastic shim, and my clear plate on the top, and I'm going to run that through. And then we'll grab that out the other side, and then we're just going to give that a little wiggle through, and of course we've got our beautiful butterfly die cut out there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our butterfly and we're going to take our Crystallina, and then we are going to take our Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue, and what we're going to do is just take this and infill in the background of the butterfly. So, like so. Just tracing and filling in. Okay. So you're just going to work your way around, adding in the Dries Clear Glue. Like so, and then I'm going to take my Crystallina glitter, tap away the excess. Like so. I'll just do one half to show you, because like I say, I've got one that's done that's dry. Okay, and then you can see how pretty that then looks. Now if I hold that up to the camera, you can see it looks nice like this, but once that glue then dries clear, you can see how you get the pink shining through and you just get that really magical, beautiful sparkle. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side, put the lid on my glitter there, definitely don't want to be knocking that pot over, and then I'm going to take a piece of vellum. I'm going to show you how I've created the beautiful little flowers that I've got on the finished sample one here. So I've taken a piece of white vellum. Again, this is out of stock on the website at the moment, but please do sign up to the stock notifications and you will get an email as soon as we have any back in. Right, so what we're now going to do is ink up the stamp, like so. And then we are going to take our stamp and position it down onto our base card, like so. And then we're going to press. So this is on our vellum. We're going to lift it off again, and then we're going to take our Wow Opaque Bright White Superfine Embossing Powder and sprinkle that over the top. I'm going to tap away any excess, and this looks absolutely fabulous on vellum in white. Okay. There we go. So we're going to take our heat gun and just chase the image again. You can see I didn't bother fully inking this up. I only really focused on the centre part because all we're interested in is the flowers and the little leaves. Okay. What I've then done is taken a piece of scrap paper, okay, just to work on. Flip your butterfly over and then, have a look, I've got some coloured pencils. Okay, so these are two pencils that I've got. So one's a Derwent one and that one's called May Green. I think this is just a standard Derwent pencil. It might be a Colour Soft, I'm not 100% sure. I do own a lot of pencils, I have to say. And then I've got a Spectrum Noir one as well, which is number 29. So what we're going to do is take the pencils and literally just scribble. And I'm working on the back side of the vellum. So I've just popped a little bit of green in the middle of the leaves. And then we're going to do the same with the centre of the flower. So all we're going to do is put a little bit of pressure on and just flick the colour out from the centre of the flower towards the edge, like so. And then if I turn that round, can you see the effect that that then gives you? So you get that beautiful colour behind the flowers, but it's really soft and subtle. It can look really messy on the back look, but then when you turn it over, it looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to do the full butterfly to show you. So you're literally just flicking the colour like this. I have to say as well, if you like this kind of ombre look, I've had an idea for something that we're working on at the moment. It's been very much product development at the moment, which is exciting. Me and Becca are both very excited for samples to arrive. Right, so we're going to work all the way around, flicking the colour onto the leaves and the flowers. Okay, so the pencils that I'm using, I've got a Spectrum Noir pencil and I've also got a Derwent pencil. I think the Derwent pencil I'm using is just a standard Derwent colouring pencil, but they do some really nice ones called Colour Soft. Do also have some of those. I feel like pencils are really underrated in crafting. I love them, I do use these a lot. Okay, so we're just going to continue colouring like this, and then we're going to take a little bit of green like so, and then if we flip this over, you can see then how we've got this beautiful effect on the butterflies. You could be using normal pencils if you wanted to colour the back of this, and you'll just find that the lead isn't quite as soft. The Spectrum Noir and especially the Derwent Colour Soft have a softer lead to them, so you might just have to put a little bit more pressure on, or maybe use a darker colour and not put as much pressure on. So then if I flip that over, you can see it looks quite messy on the back, but then on the front it looks really pretty. So what we're then going to do is go in with our scissors. So I'm going to use the scissors here. Oh my word, this is a new pair of scissors. These feel very sharp. I'm going to work round and just cut these out. I'm really sorry if I pull this off camera a little bit here. It's just I kind of need to see where I'm cutting, obviously. Right, so that's the first one cut out. So I'm going to pop these just in front of me in order. And then this is the bottom one that I'm just cutting out now. Yeah, I have to say I do think pencils do get overlooked when we're crafting. There's some lovely things that you can do with them. Really nice colour, they're lovely for colouring in, and just nice colouring techniques, really. Nice and easy to use as well. I always feel like pencils aren't as scary as using an alcohol marker. Right, so we're just going to continue cutting these out. Again, I'm just going to use my scissors and just following the edge of the design. Like so. And that one there. And then this is the bottom wing. So again, just trimming this out. Again, I'm really sorry if I've whipped that off camera there, it's just so I can actually see to cut it out. So, there we go. Just trim around the edge. Like that. There we go. Chrissy's asking, would you get the same effect with watercolour brush pens? You would, but my concern would be with that, the water. You wouldn't get the same effect, it wouldn't be quite as intense. But my concern with that would be the water and the vellum. It would cause the vellum to kind of crinkle. Right then. So what we're going to do next is, just made a right mess there with the glue. Thought it still had a seal on, I went straight in there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our butterfly and start to build it up. So I've got my base layer one, and then my one that I'm going to pop on the top, I'm going to just fold either side of the body. Okay, like that. What we're going to do is pop a little bit of glue just on the back, and then a big blob either side. Okay, so this is pin flare glue gel that I'm using. So what we're then going to do is pop this on the top. Okay, and then it's at this point you can decide how much you want your butterfly to fly. So you can either leave it as is, so it looks quite kind of raised, or you can give it a little squish and it won't be quite as fluttery. So at this point the decision is yours. What we're then going to do is start to layer up the vellum elements. So we're going to start off by taking the ones that we've just done, and what I would recommend that you do is just put a tiny bit of pin flare in the middle, and because you've coloured them, your pencils are going to help to kind of hide your glue marks. I'm going to stick the first one down here, and then a little bit of glue on the back of this one. That one's going to get stuck down here. But I think the technique of mixing and matching the pearl card and the vellum just works so beautifully together. A little blob of glue, and we're going to pop this one at the top here, like so. Okay, so you can see how that's then starting to come together. So what we've then done is we've gone on and done the same technique again, but we've glittered up the little flowers. So we've just added some little dots of glue to the middle of the flowers. Now again, I'm just going to add a little bit more colour on the back of these just to show you. So literally you're just going to scribble with your pencil in the middle. So we've kind of given these ones an all over colour, which is going to be really nice because it's going to add a little bit more intensity. But if you want to darken them down, of course you can. Let me just have a little look at the comments again. So what's the best GSM vellum do you recommend using? We have this debate so much. It's not necessarily the GSM that's the issue with paper and things, it's the quality. So you can actually get something that looks a lower GSM, but if it's a better quality paper or vellum, it's to do with the way the fibres are laid. It can feel like a heavier weight, if that makes sense. So the one that we sell on the website is obviously being tried and tested, and that is the one that we use. And from memory, I think it's between 110 and 115. But again, don't fully go off the GSM of everything. It's more so to do with the quality. And that's the same with your paper stock and things as well. Right, so what we're then going to do is just pinch the middle of the petals like so. So we're going to do a little valley fold down the middle. And then I'm going to grab in some of my self-adhesive sparkles. I'm going to use the pink ones. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I am going to put a tiny little blob of glue just in the middle with sticking it onto vellum. I'm going to pop a little blob of glue down and then stick my little jewel over the top. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto the back of here. And I'm just going to twist and offset the flowers ever so slightly when I stick them on. So we're going to do exactly the same again with the ones for the bottom layer. We're just going to work our way around, pinching the petals. Okay. And then we're going to put a little blob of glue in the middle, each of the flowers, and then add a little self-adhesive sparkle. And I really am, if this was just stuck on paper, I wouldn't bother, but with sticking on top of embossing powder and vellum, I just think it gives that little bit extra security. Okay, and then we're going to pop a little blob of glue on the back of there. I'm going to twist and offset that onto here, like so. So you can see how it starts to come together. Okay. A little bit of glue there. Little jewel. There we go. Right then. So we turn that round. Go. And then we're going to take our little self-adhesive sparkles again. And I'm going to just pop these down the body of the butterfly. Just going to carefully drop these in. Should have probably done this before I stuck the flowers on, but never mind. Here we go. Oh, just pinged that one across the room. This one doesn't want to go on this card. There we go. So you can literally just stick these on. Okay, and then you can see how beautiful that is then looking. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one over to one side now. So we're kind of gathering all the elements for this project. And we're going to move on and start to create the flowers next. So for the flower, we're going to be using the gorgeous little country flower. So this is a stamp and die set. Have got one that's already done, basically because this one needs a bit of drying time. So what we've done is taken a piece of the rose quartz pearl paper, give it a little dust over with an anti-static bag, and then we're going to ink up the gorgeous flower. We're then going to position that down and press onto the base card and lift off. And again, we're going to cover that with opaque bright white superfine. So you need to do 4 of the medium and 4 of the small onto your rose quartz paper. What I'm then going to do is heat this up. Again, I'm just using my heat gun. Like so. You then cut these out, so I'll just quickly run around mine with a pair of scissors. Just then by the time they've cooled and I've die cut them, probably have it cut out. There we go. Right then. So what you then do is take your dry as clear PVA glue and you're just going to infill the petals of the flower. So you're going to go in like so and literally just cover the entire petal. I do like to try and leave some of the white lines showing if I can, but don't get kind of too stressed about it or anything like that. So you're just going to work your way around, glittering up the flower. Like so. Okay, and then you're going to take your Crystallina glitter again and cover the flower in Crystallina. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be white, but when that dries, your glue's going to dry clear. Okay, so then you're going to get the pink shining through. So if I pop that to one side and show you the one that has dried. See how high I can get my hand to show you this. There we go. You can see how you then get the pink paper shining through. So we're going to build these flowers up now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some vellum again. So you need to stamp 2 of your medium flowers onto vellum and 2 of your small flowers onto vellum. And then exactly the same technique again. You're going to cut them out and then you're going to scribble on the back with your pencil. Okay? And then what we're going to do is pinch down the middle of the petals. Okay? And that's going to create a little valley fold just down the centre. You're going to do that on all of the flowers. And what you'll find is the paper will be quite like firm where it's got the glitter on. So that works really nicely and it really helps the flower to kind of hold the shape. So if you just work your way around, like so. Okay, and then we're going to take our pink fly glue gel again. We'll just layer up the flowers. So a little bit of glue on the back. And then stick that one down. A little bit of glue on the back of the vellum. Stick it down. Like so, and then you can see how this then creates this gorgeous little 3D flower. Okay, so you're going to need to make 2 of the medium and 2 of the small. So, okay, and then what we're going to do is grab some jewels. So it's from my little self-adhesive sparkles. That colour. So, again, because this has got a little bit of shape to it, I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the middle. Plus I find it easier when I'm kind of showing everyone at home. It's easier for the jewels to kind of grab. Right, so then I'm going to take these lovely little pale pink ones. I'm literally just going to dot these in the middle, she says. There we go. go. That's all nicely layered up there. Okay, so you can see how that's now looking. So what we're then going to do is we're going to pop those to one side. Okay, and then we are going to start to build our base card up. So, I can see this question about box kit 12. Linda, I won't be showing you at the end of this demo because I don't physically have one in my hands yet, I'm afraid. If I could, I would, but I can't. They're not actually here. So, what we're going to do is layer this up. So we're going to take a piece of the crystal white card, okay, and I'm going to take a little bit of chisel tip glue, and I'm going to take my Crystallina glitter again, and then I'm just going to drag my chisel tip along the edge and dunk that in the glitter. Okay, and then we're just going to work our way around like so. Okay, and then we're going to pop that over there, and we're going to take back in our piece that we glittered earlier. So you can see how it's starting to dry. Still looks a little bit patchy, but it is starting to dry and you are starting to get the pink shining through. So again, we're going to do the same thing, drag that chisel tip blue pen all the way along the edge, dunking into the glitter. So, okay, and then we are going to layer this up. So we're going to take our base card and we're going to put some foam pads on the back. Okay, we'll whip the backs off of these. And I'm going to put this on at a little bit of an angle, I think. Let me just see what angle I did this one at. There we go. And then a few foam pads on the back of here. Of course, if you wanted to at home, I always say this. People always notice in the YouTube comments say about gutting. If you want to gut your layers, feel free to. Go for it. When I'm demoing, I personally find it hard to stick the layers on straight when they're gutted. So I just tend to use the full sheets, but if you want to gut and save, you go for that. Okay then, so what we're going to do next is we're going to whip the backs off of these. So, and then we're going to pop this just at a slight angle on the base card, like so. Okay, and then we're going to take our gorgeous butterfly and we're going to just position that onto here. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of pin flare glue on the back. Just plonk that down. That did kind of fall out my hands there. I wanted it a little bit more this way. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, and then we're going to take the little flowers. So we're going to put a couple in each corner. So that one's going to go there and that one's going to go there. That one's going to go there and that one's going to go up there. Okay, and then we're going to take our pin flare to place these down. So a little blob of glue either side. Okay, so you can see how pretty that's coming along. Now what I would do now is we'll go in with my Dries Clear PVA, and this is where the magic really starts to happen on this one. So I use my little sparkling butterflies at this point. I might still have mine in the little sample tube, but basically when you get yours, they come in a pot, like our Sparklicious pot, okay, and they are absolutely jam-packed full. Mine are in a sample jar, so ignore that. Oh, there we go, Becca's just handed me them. So these are what yours will actually look like when they arrive. But when I say these are jam-packed with butterflies, like we could not fit any more butterflies in there. There are so many, and they are like a silver hologram, which is really pretty. So they are tiny and make the most beautiful little kind of accent on your projects. So you can then just go in and stick these down like this. But you honestly get so many in the pot, so you can really kind of go to town if you want to, or if you want to be a little bit more frugal and just add a couple, you can do as well. But they make the most gorgeous little accent just dotted into the background of your projects. It's really pretty, like so. Okay, so you can see how that then comes together. Those ones back away. Oh, could even get them put on your nails, I bet. Have a look. Yeah, bet you could. Anyway, it's for another day, that one. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to add a couple of little jewels onto here. Just a little jewel in there. Middle of that flower there. Okay. And then we have got our lovely little floral lace diamond, which has been die cut out. And then I've got the inner diamond from a piece of rose quartz. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment for you. So to do the sentiment, I've already die cut out the filigree happy birthday outline. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little happy birthday. Give this a little just over first, and I'm going to take my clear embossing ink pad. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to have to just stand up for this point. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Oh, I've got a lovely shot of my head there. Leaning in. There we go. Right then, so I'm going to place that down. I do find it's easy when you stand over, when you're lining things up. Okay, so we're going to slide that in there. We're going to take our Pretty in Pink Wow embossing glitter. Sprinkle that over like this. Oops. Dear. There we go. And then we are going to heat this up. Okay. And then we're going to put some foam pads on the back of there. So we're going to just trim these down a little bit. So again, I literally just use our foam pads on a roll all the time. And if I need a smaller one, I just trim it down, which is dead easy to do. There. Now I'm getting in a bit of a knot. There we go. There we go. Right, so we've got that done perfectly. So what we're going to do now is take that little floral lace border And we're going to take our chisel tip glue pen and our Crystallina glitter. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just drag over the edge of here. And I'm going to dunk that into the glitter. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to stick our little diamond just in the centre. I'm just going to stick that flat. Oops, like so. Flip that over. Bit of foam pad on the back. Whip the backs off there. Into that. Pop that down onto here, like so. And you can see how your card has then come together. Now if you wanted to, on the finished sample I did go to town, I did a few little crystals in the corner, which are where the sugared pink ones are from. But to be honest, I don't necessarily think you need it, so that's personal preference. So that there would be your finished card, and I'll tell you what we'll do with this one. Seeing as box kit 12 goes on pre-order tomorrow, I'll pop this card in one of the pre-orders for the box kit as a little surprise. So someone who pre-orders a box kit will receive this card that I've just made. Okay, so I really hope that you have all enjoyed today's stamp along and enjoyed making this project. Of course, we have done it in pinks, but you could do it in any colours you wanted. If you wanted to do it in lilacs or blues or turquoises, it would still look really, really beautiful. So let me pop the camera back round because I've got things I need to tell you. I've just sorted my hair out there. I always tuck it behind my ears when I'm crafting. Let me just, what's the button there? No, it's that one. There we go. So thank you everyone for joining me today for the stamp along. I really hope that you have enjoyed crafting along with me. If there are any projects that you want to have a look back on, of course you can do on our YouTube channel and on the blog. And this particular video will be going up on YouTube and on Facebook once I finish this little video. So you can watch it back, or you can pause me, you can rewind me, you can fast forward if you want. Just a little note as well, if you are on our email mailing list, you will have probably received an email to let you know that our brand new box kit goes on pre-order tomorrow. It is a beautiful spring themed box kit that I think you're going to love. There's flowers, there's butterflies, and it's got a really, really pretty colour palette in this one. The limited edition stamp is a beautiful bouquet stamp, which is lovely, and I'm sure that you will love crafting with that. So if you want to pre-order box kit 12, it goes on pre-order at 9 AM tomorrow morning at chloescreativecards.co.uk. So hop over at the website and do have a look. Our box kits are always incredibly popular and do tend to sell out pretty fast with the limited edition stamp. So please do have a little look on there. I hope that you have enjoyed today's stamp along, and I can't wait to see what you've all been creating in the Facebook group too. So yes, please do post your makes. We love to see them. So I think that is everything for me, everything from me for today even. So I hope to see you all again very soon. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, then you'll get notified when we're going live or when we've got new videos going on. And yeah, give us a like on Facebook too, because there's always loads of content on there as well. Loads of finished card samples. So I hope to see you all again very, very